Hello and welcome to the Keepers of the Golden Gate. I'm Ryan, the GM. It is the 12th of April 2019 and this is session 1, before I forget. Here are the players.
Hello, this is Andrea. I play Arya Bluebird, who is a half-elf druid.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I play Kitty LaKill, who is a Tabaxi rogue.
Hello, I'm Stuart and I play Reach, who's a half-elf monk.
Hi, I'm Scott. I play Crumbar, who is a half-orc paladin.
There we go. We got through that okay. That's good. We did well. Right.
Started coughing in the middle of saying my name, sorry.
That's okay. At this point, what I would normally do for future games as well is do a catch-up chat for maybe about 5-10 minutes and just be like, what did we all get up to during the week?
On our last episode.
No, I just mean with the people, to be honest, as in from a player level. Then we'll go into what we did last week as a character level, and then we'll jump back into the game. But at this point in time, we're doing the intro. So,
can I just say fuck bitches get money?
well, you did, and
Well done.
yeah, I mean, 14 word points to you, I think.
Yay!
We will be playing using 5th Ed, and anyone familiar with the 13th Age map will recognise my map in the background, and thank you to Stuart for helping with the map, and also Nico for also helping with the map originally by wiping most of it off except the lovely fangs. So it is not the keepers, the fangs of the Golden Gate. For those, it's just the fangs would have been too hard to. It would have destroyed that beautiful river work. Bye. Needless to say, you guys have all been involved with a mysterious figure. Not to be too mysterious about that, but I know. To kind of just work our way down the list of players here. For Arya, I'm going to try and keep you guys referred to as character names if I can. If I forget or mispronounce, let me know. But yeah, Arya has lived a long time in the Wild Woods, which is down in this area of the world. Excuse me. And with that, eventually, through whatever level of backstory we wish to uncover as we develop Arya's story, she was met by this figure called the Hooded Woman. And let me just share this for everybody just now. In fact, yeah, what I'll do is I'll share it after I've went through everybody's intro. That's probably better. It's more dramatic that way, isn't it? So we'll do that after. So you met this person called the Hooded Woman that has appeared to you in the Wild Woods, and they have conversed with you about the fact that your specific gifts and role that you play is important. Not to be too on the nose about you being a player in a roleplay game campaign or anything. So she asked if you would go with her. You agreed, because of destiny and all that jazz, and thus you were taken away by this mysterious woman. Moving swiftly on to Kitty LaKill. You also met a mysterious hooded woman who obviously you may have been in various states of desperation given your current physical state. She said the way to resolve such problems would be to follow this path, and she'd help guide you along it if possible. Obviously, you agreed to go with her. Imagine you didn't though, and then that was the game done. Like,
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm fine. I'll just stay as I am, thanks.
like we're good. It's all fine. Beyond that, we then have a. We're gonna skip Reach for now, and we're gonna go to Crumbar. So, Crumbar, who works for the. I mean, did you want to work for the Golden Order of Paladins? I feel like that was, yeah, like I think that's what we'd established, yeah. So you work for the Golden Order of Paladins. You were again visited by this this kind of hooded, kind of spooky woman, and she agreed to help you along your path. And it said that you're needed for a glory and destiny, and also that you want to hit things with your hammer, and she knows plenty of things she needs hit with the
Pretty
hammer.
much.
Yeah, and she's already borrowed one of your order previously, so she takes you with you. As for Reach, our half-elven monk, Reach was approached 8 years previously, so the last person of yours to be approached, it doesn't specifically matter to me which one of yours is the last person. It could very potentially be Andrew if he does decide to join us down the line, or whoever else is, joining our game. Also, guys, just putting out there, everybody at home, like, subscribe, ring the bell, all the usual things, blah blah blah, and we have potentially 2 open slots if you want to join. Let me know. Moving back into the game, not to be corporate, for Dawn, or should I say Reach, sorry, for Reach, the hooded woman appeared 8 years previously, and had asked you to look after this room called the Celestial Nexus, to which you went there and you stayed for 8 years in that room, just kind of being, so that, yeah, not that there was much to do in that room or anything, other than just kind of exist, and that seemed fine. As I said, concept of time passing and such, maybe not so obvious either. You didn't need to eat or sleep for some reason. You could sleep, but you didn't need to, that type of shenanigans. But yeah, time passed. You obviously don't how did you spend your time during that 8 years? Was it just kind of meditation or?
Meditation, practicing, monkey stuff.
Yeah.
Monk-ish stuff.
Monkey stuff, yeah. Business and such.
I'd be much happier if it was monkey.
I don't know. Oh God, what was that?
Goes on tight.
Oh God, that was awful. Apologies to all the ears out there. Let's see if I've got this sorted. That looks fine to me. And then this one can go to this layer. Two seconds, guys. Just trying to put something on another layer of another map, and it is a delicate work. Because it involves overlapping circles. Have we lost Scott?
No, I'm here.
Good. Just some awful crackling. Map work, object work. Done. And then edit. So yeah, the Celestial Nexus. It's this big kind of white marble room. These are all taken there by this creature, the hooded woman. And yeah, essentially, what's the best way to put this? Reach was told he has to guard the place, and yous have all just been taken there. There was no specific method of transport. Yous just weren't where yous were, and then appeared in this particular place. Let me just adjust it so that yous are all here. And then I'll just throw in this character.
Those G's look like they'd been knuckle dusters.
What's that? Sir?
That is so true. Actually.
The G's.
Yeah, they really do actually, don't they? They got those kind of finger placement things.
Mm.
Oh, that is interesting. There is
Well, seeing how the rogue is.
See weapons out of everything.
Yeah.
Even a spoon.
Seems fair, Seems
Loxley, cut your heart with a spoon.
I'm gonna disable all the wonderful dynamic lighting on this one because it ain't working for some bizarre reason. Right, so I'm gonna move you guys to here. Dun 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 dun.
Oh my god, where are we?
So, these are in this very large room to the point where, yeah, it's just large. And this is where yous are all taken. Reach, you've been here for some time, as previously discussed.
Yep.
And to show you all the hooded woman, there you
Ah.
are.
Oh, spoopy.
Looks like my ex-wife.
So yeah, when you look
I
into
don't know
her
if you mean that
eyes,
in or out of character, but okay.
when you look into her eyes, they're completely black, but when you look closer, it's like there's star fields in them, and when she focuses, they glow, much like the image here. She doesn't come with that background all the time. That's possibly just when she met Arya in the woods. But yeah, she's it's a really cool
As
piece
long
of
as she
art.
doesn't attract, everything around her and those, very, very lighty points, I'm happy with that.
Yep. As I said, her eyes only go kind of bright when she's focusing, as it were. But she's brought yous to this space, as it were. There was supposed to be dynamic lighting in here, which I'll show you what that was supposed to look like, or at least what it turned out to look like, even though it shouldn't have. So,
That hurts my brain.
yep.
Oh no.
So, yeah.
Did you give me acid?
So, it's because I drew a circle without hand drawing it to be in segments. I think if I drew it in segments it would have been fine. So yeah, that was what happened there, and that was a wee bit annoying. Like, I think if I went over it and, I don't know, maybe, let's try this. Polygon line. Let me very quickly just make a non-circle based one, because the room is meant to be perfectly round, and there's a domed there's a domed roof to it, and around the room are these 8 giant doorways. Let me see if this has made a difference. Dynamic lighting, blah blah blah, and then get rid of that one.
That's
Oh,
better.
yeah.
There we go. Not perfect, but definitely better, right? Right, what I'm going to need to do now is change the map I'm on. Double check, and do that.
I hit lighting.
That'll do. That's a better round one. I'm also going to need to set this character here, which is the hooded woman, but I need to set it so that everybody at home can see, because everybody at home can see nothing. That's it. There we go. Perfect. We have this sorted out. Good. So yes, you find yourself in this room. As I said, imagine those doorways fixed into the walls as well. Okay? So it's big kind of white marble archways that, when you're in the middle of the room, they're all solid. Reach, you've had plenty of time to be here, so you can definitely have explored. Do you want to be the first roll of the night and roll investigation?
Yeah, okay, makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Great, good.
So when you get closer to like any of the doors, they all, as you start to walk for them, they like become light. So the kind of the white marble becomes white light, and then eventually it gets deeper and more detailed, and then it looks like a bit like a nebula. And then, if you keep walking closer and closer, you're in a star field in a nebula, and you don't have like perception of the room that you were in. But if you keep walking, you're just in the star field. and then you step back and you're back in the room, like just a few steps or whatever. So it's very trippy at first, but I imagine during the 8 years you spent here, you probably spent a good long while wondering about the doors in here, and the fact that you didn't necessarily take one to get here, which is interesting. The ceiling is a dome, but you can see the sky through the dome, so you can see the stars above. You can see like almost like overhanging trees and such as well. So it looks like it would be like a clearing of a forest that you're in, but it's clearly like a domed ceiling, a bit like Hogwarts ceiling, that idea. You know that there's ceiling there despite the fact that you can see through it, but it's not glass. So yeah. So you've had plenty of time to have a look at all that. Beyond that, there's like not a single mark or like imperfection anywhere. All of the marble is flawless. Yeah, and as I said, I think 8 years and a 19 is quite a good matchup, quite frankly. So yeah, these are all brought there, and the hooded woman kind of gestures to each of you, and then she says, "Please make yourselves acquainted with each other."
Hello.
Hiya.
Hello everyone, yeah, I'm Reach, a monk. Been here for a wee bit of time. Where'd you,
Arya.
Hello Arya, where'd you come from?
Where did you go? Where'd you come from, Cat and I, Joe?
Well, I think, see, at this exact point, I think what's quite good, right, is letting them both start with Reach.
Yeah,
Describe what you look like, because this is the first time the characters will have seen each other. So,
right. I quite brightly coloured, but very simple clothes. Probably don't have anything on me. Pretty bald as well. Yeah.
right.
So, yeah. So that's me.
And then, who's next?
Sophie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm about 5 foot. A cat walking on hind leg. I've actually got purple eyes, not the yellow one of the picture that I've got, but like more of a violet shade. I've got dark black fur. Tail does have a bit of a mind of its own, so just be careful. It might knock things off the shelf. It might steal something out of your pocket.
Arya?
I forgot how to do that with my. Yeah, but how do I do it though?
It's,
Or is that you doing it on?
It's me doing that for everybody. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I was a bit lost there. Okay, so I'm obviously the sort of person that doesn't really hang out much with people and more in nature because I'm quite like, dark clothes, kind of tattered, maybe looking a bit dirty in places, maybe, but I might even have a twig or two in my hair somewhere, who knows. And you can kind of tell my people skills are not the best, and I'm not really like, good at socializing, and I tend to be like curt and not very. I come across as not very nice, so I'm like, Arya, just like, I've graced you with my name. What else do you want, sort of thing.
Yeah,
So it's there with a resting bitch face.
Hey, look at that pretty face. That's not a resting bitch face. I'm just a bitch overall. But
Oh, right, so it's just an overall bitch arc. Okay.
Yeah, it's less an outfit and more foliage, really, isn't it? And then Crumbar.
Yay. How'd you pull up the image thing?
I'll do it.
Oh, even better. So, as you can see by my beautiful good looks, I am a 6-foot orc, clad in armor with a giant ass hammer, just as you would expect a paladin to be.
That makes sense. obviously I imagine your armor and such has got the markings of the Golden Order on it as well.
Yeah.
So that is all of you would know this as well. Like, he's clearly a paladin of the Golden Order, which is the people who work for the Great Gold Worm, a giant gold dragon. Generally considered decent folk.
Unless you.
And I reach that might be of specific interest to you.
Yeah.
Is there anything obvious about your outfit that gives anything away in that regard?
Wasn't even thinking other than it's yellow, but nothing more predominantly yellow, but nothing really I was thinking.
Yeah. So like, nothing like a giant symbol saying, "Hello, my name is." Yeah. Oh, good.
Go
Good.
dragons roll, bitches.
Yep. So like, as you all start to like kind of awkwardly chat to each other the way you would, right? Since you've all been kind of taken by this mysterious, creepy, spooky lady, to this bizarre place that feels a bit too clean, you know, like like when you walk in somewhere and the air is stale. It's like that feeling. It's very clinical. Had there been a word for that back in the day, back in the fantasy day, and yeah, that's kind of the awkward scene we're all treated to, is everybody being like, "Cool, so I see you wear armor. You must get hit a lot, I guess." You know, all that wonderful small talk. And then anyone that's paying attention to the hooded woman sees that, you know, when someone's thinking about something, they're clearly looking off to the side type thing, while kind of still trying to be part of a group conversation. She seems to be like gone, lost in her own thoughts. Like, our features are quite hard to make out. It's just the eyes that always seem to like draw people's attention. As if like if you tried to do a drawing of her, the only detail you'd have is the eyes and then like the hood around the face, even though you can clearly see she has a face. It's just anytime you try and recall that information, you just never really seem to manage it. And she speaks with a slight, almost reverb to the voice, just a slight bit. You know that thing that TV shows do to make you know the character's powerful. So she then like just waits until you all stop talking. There's like a lull in the conversation. Not that it will take that long, because again, you just don't know each other, so you're all kind of being like, "Cool, why are we here?" I guess so. And then she then just looks up and goes, "I have selected you all for the roles you play in," and then she goes to say like a word, and she kind of like stops herself, and then she says, "I have selected you all for your unique place in the river," and she waves her hand like vaguely to the air, and then she looks directly at Reach, and she says, "Thank you for safeguarding this place." She kind of like nods very slightly towards you, Reach.
You're welcome.
"I trust there were no events."
None whatsoever.
And then she kind of like again nods and looks off to the side at one of the doors, and then she looks back at the group. "There is an event on the horizon." And then she can like, anyone like that has been around people, so possibly not Crumbar and possibly not Arya, and I guess maybe not Reach. So really, it's Kitty.
Like cocking my head to one side, like.
Yeah,
What?
like you can probably pick up the fact that this person clearly is pained by having to even say this, as if admitting it hurts, you know, that this is a thing that's going to happen. Like trying to deliver somebody bad news, then you know it's going to devastate them. And then she kind of like collects herself and she says, "There is an event on the horizon. It is world-changing. The world does not need to change, and yous will help me stop this." And she just kind of pauses because she's waiting for the the backlash of questions that she would expect. Does anybody lean in with something, or does she have a captive audience?
Very captive.
What about everybody else?
Change how.
Okay, so you're going to lead them with that. So what's everybody else doing? Like, what's their posture? What's their like, so Arya, how are you standing? Are you like paying attention to her? Were you like casually chatting to people? Are you like, where am I? I'm bored. Are you defensive? Like, what's your posture?
I think I'd be like a bit like kind of to the side, like not really hanging in the shadows, but like not really getting really close to people, because I'm used to approaching animals like
This is why I
with
put you all 10 feet
patience
away from each other.
and care and like observing how they behave first and then approaching sort of thing. So I'd like to think that I adapt that to people as well. And I know nature, and I know that there is usually change in nature. Like there's storms and there's things that might look bad happening, and sometimes they actually help. Tear down trees that were dying anyway, and that sort of thing. So I'm curious what she means about change and how she knows
Yeah,
that
because
this would
change
be
isn't always a
bad, the
bad
one
thing.
doesn't need to
Yeah.
change. Yeah. So I'm quite like, change how? Like, who are you to say that it's bad?
Yeah.
Who are you to say that change doesn't need to happen? So that's like the thing that piques my interest. I'm like, what do you mean change? Like,
Yep, so we'll pause you on that. So we'll have you ask that in a second, but I'll get everybody's posturing first as she presents that. So what about Katie?
oh sure.
So I started with the crossed arms stand, and then when change was mentioned and it would being soon, I've just kind of, my arms are now at my sides and I'm just sort of leaning forwards, like ears twitching a little bit, like, what change?
Yeah, like, tell me more. Yeah, okay. Reach.
Attentive with my arms on my hips, kind of just kind of pose kind of thing, but yeah. Right.
Yep. And Crumbar.
I am standing, resting my chin on my hammer, trying to work out what the change could possibly be, and if it would fall within good or bad.
Like, change? But I'm already in my armor. Yeah, no, good. And then you hear, obviously, Arya say what you said. Do you want to deliver the line again?
Change? What change?
And then the hooded woman turns and she says, too much change, unfortunately. Think of it like a dam busting. The river cannot cope with so much change. She looks at you as if, you know what I mean. Whether you do or don't is really up to Arya, but like that's the look she gives you, as if you should get this. Because of the nature thing, the exact thing that was in your head about why you're like, why? Well, change isn't always bad, and she's like, yeah, this is forced change though. That's the impression you're getting from this. So, what's Arya's take on that?
Like when men tear down trees and destroy everything so that they could have bigger houses.
And then,
Can I chime in?
yeah, you can, of course you can.
Well, if it's a dam problem, then it sounds like something for a plumber. What do the skills of a paladin need doing in such an event?
Those causing the change fall under your purview.
You've piqued my interest, women.
And maybe only visible to Crumbar across the room, but it looks like there's the tiniest hint of a smirk on her face that's lost to the obscurity. But then she turns to Arya and she says, do not confuse change with progress. Progress is healthy. Change forced is not. And then she looks back down at Crumbar and she says, as for you, my paladin friend. And you can clearly see that she's just kind of toying with the word friend there, almost like it's meaningless to her. But selected for your pleasure, of course. She says, these things are not natural that are behind the change I speak of.
Can I move other people's player pieces?
No.
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 See, can't tell who that is in front of me, sorry.
It's-
Monk me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Reach.
I'm going to move my guy to there, barging him off, pushing him slightly off to the side.
I mean, you could try, but he is a monk.
Yeah, I can push back, but I'll let you.
Not like a shove, just a kind of like, excuse me, I want to get a better look.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you're almost hero posing in a line now in front of her. Almost.
Quick, take a photo for the gram.
Yeah, quick high kicks, everyone. Yeah.
Boy band pose.
Pterodactyl.
I'll ask her then. She wishes us to follow her blindly when she hasn't even given us her name yet.
And you hear like a really kind of like hollow laugh come from her, as if this caught her off guard, and you just hear the kind of hollowness to it all, with a bit of echo to it. And like a hand actually goes up to like her stomach a little, and then she stops herself laughing, and then she looks up at you, and she goes, "This is the first you've asked for my name." And she just holds that there until you say something.
Correct, but on our first meeting, you didn't leave much chance for me to speak.
I actually assumed that like we would have all known this by now. Well,
And then she, as you said, she'll, "That wasn't our first meeting. It might have been your first meeting with me, however." And then she looks at all of you very kind of like, I don't know, like, what's the word? Analytically. Yeah, like as if she's taking the measure of all of you for the first time, and she goes, "I've been with you for a long time. And now is when I need you." And she like focuses back on Crumbar at that point. Goes, "My name is Celeste." And I'll put that in the chat for you guys if you want to actually have it.
What chat is this? Discord? Oh no.
what are you, Celeste?
Running out of time.
I'm not very good at answering questions. Okay. How can we help with your time, hopefully?
Hopefully. There is one in the world who moves against me. And that is not good for the rest of us. You know him by Magna. Now, everyone knows the world's kinda ran, like, the main empire of the world's ran by the Wizard King. His first name is Magna.
Oh no.
So this woman is basically saying her enemy is the Wizard King. Magna.
Question: Golden Order? Does that? Sorry, the Golden Worm guy.
Yep, the Great Gold Worm.
Yeah. What's their affiliation with Magna?
The Great Gold Worm and the Wizard King do not get on, but they are not enemies, they are in fact allies. Because they're both looking after the people of the world, right? The Wizard King...
kind of friend of your friend is my enemy, kind of thing.
The Wizard King wants to rule, and the Wizard King does not rule the Great Gold Worm, and that annoys him. And the Great Gold Worm will not make a move against the Wizard King because he's not a bad person, if that makes sense. He's not like undead, or he's not a dragon and like that's evil, specifically the chromatic dragons, the 5 for example. He's not a demon or a devil, you know. So that's kind of the Golden Order's purview, is like the undead and demons and devils. So yeah, that's why. And also he is like the leader of the people of the world.
Yeah.
So if a dragon went up against them, what's to say they wouldn't just take over anyway, right? So
yeah.
And as I said, the Great Gold Worm, pretty cushy guy. So yeah. So There is no direct conflict with you there, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, no, that's what I was.
Yep. Mm.
I'm thinking of something to begin
Okay.
with.
Anybody else got any reactions to what she said so far?
Not particularly. I mean, it's quite shocking, really. If anything, I'll probably take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn. I cannot remember
You need
how
to
to move.
press S on your keyboard and then move your...
Ah.
It's because you'd have been in the measuring tool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'll look at her again.
Mm-hmm.
You say that you needed the skills of a paladin, and that it would pique to my interest, like my assets. I have no quarrel with the king. Why do you feel I should still help?
And then she smiles. It's almost as if she likes you, because you aren't what the cover would suggest. And
Because Parks be bitching you.
she takes a step towards you, and then kind of picks up one of your hands by the wrist, and then puts her hand kind of in yours. She turns your palm up, and then puts one of her hands in yours. Very cold to the touch, this woman. And then she just says, "You are pivotal in the success and continuation of the people." And I think the words kind of echo a bit within you, as if she said it very, very much to you. Whereas everybody around about you would have heard her say that to you, but for you it resonates a bit more. And you get the impression that things are weighty, dire, heavy going. She doesn't say any of this lightly, and you're maybe feeling a bit of her ability, her power, her thoughts on it. You're starting to feel some of that through this connection, just with her putting her hand in yours. And then she lifts her hand away. She's still holding you by the wrist though, your other hand up. She pulls her other hand out of yours and she says, "The Wizard King has built a weapon. I would very much like you to recover this weapon. Very dangerous in the wrong hands. And the
What does
Wizard
it
King..."
do?
And she turns to Arya, and she kind of nods as if, "I understand you'll have questions." But then she's like, "It's very dangerous in the wrong hands, and he has the wrong hands." She it goes back to where she was standing, so as not to kind of be as weirdly imposing as she was with I keep going to call you Scud because of your Discord name. Crumbar. Crumbar. Scud's also a valid orc name, I feel. But
I'll just...
and then she says, "The weapon is like all weapons, capable of destruction." And she just kind of looks at you, Arya, and then you see the eyes kind of flare up again, the little kind of specks of starlight that are deep in her eyes flare up, and she says, "This weapon is capable of a lot of unwanted progress."
Well, the Wizard King would be the wrong person for a weapon like that, by the sounds of it.
My thoughts exactly. And she kind of nods again, kind of solemnly to you, Reach, as if I knew you were the right person I picked to look after this place. And then she says, "I need you to go retrieve this weapon for me. I trust you have the equipment you require to achieve this task. Shall we begin?"
Describe this weapon. Is it something we can easily carry?
"I'm sure you will have no trouble retrieving it."
Well, if we'd have no trouble retrieving it, I'm sure you could retrieve it yourself.
I didn't say I would have no trouble.
Makes us different from you.
You walk in the world. I do not.
But you do not.
Surely you do not expect us to walk into the king's chambers and take this weapon you speak of? Surely he will have something to say about it.
And you hear the laughing again, like just surprised laughing come from her. Because I'm sure he would. No, the weapon is not kept within the king's chambers. The weapon is hidden from most. I can point you in the right direction, and I will make sure you have everything you need to identify this, and then you will return it to me.
Identifying is one thing, but it sounds like we need an army to get it. I would guess the king holds it under guard.
I would guess this also. But we have an
And
army.
what would-
And she gestures to the four of you.
And what would you do with it once you had it?
Keep it from him.
Would you use it?
The weapon has another function.
Is
So-
it smashing? I like to smash things.
And then like
Yeah, that's the half orc we were expecting.
I think at this point everyone's like just slowly turns and looks at Crumbar as if no shit. And then she replies and she says, "The weapon has another function. It can be used for something useful." And she says that word very vaguely, much like everything else she said, but specifically vaguely. The weapon can be combined with a few other items that will correct a lot of the problems you will face. By acquiring this weapon and denying the Wizard King this weapon, we can protect more.
Well, if protection is your main goal, consider me joined.
And then I think everybody can see her smile at this point. You get enough of the focus on her to like see that she is smiling and pleased by this.
The Wizard King's definitely the wrong person for this weapon anyway, so I'll help.
She like turns and does that very, nod to you, like a Frodo would to, Gimli when he says "on my axe,"
I'm sorry, so what made us smile? Sorry, I
Just the
saw
fact that
something or something.
Crumbar was like, "Yeah, totally, I'm on board protecting people. Sounds good to me."
Oh, okay.
And then obviously
Okay, fair enough.
Reach said, "Yeah, the Wizard King's the wrong guy for this type of weapon, so that sounds good."
Yeah.
Well, logic being, if I am a paladin, the whole point in them is protection, so...
Yeah. I mean, literally, you just protect people from. Well, you protect people from demons and undead and such. So yeah.
Arya expects.
Still a bit miffed that she doesn't want to destroy it and hasn't told us what the other purpose is.
Yeah.
Well, she did say it can be combined with other items to prevent, like, essentially unwanted change. So, while not telling you specifics, she did tell you kind of the other purpose.
Yeah, then.
Arya, I don't think the Wizard King thinks much about nature. It's more of a tool to him than something to protect as well.
I mean, she said she was going to help me with my problem, so I'm down to help if it also helps everyone else. So,
Is this what you're saying
At this
as
point,
Kitty?
I'm
Because
doing it.
obviously I love the idea that you say, "She's going to help me with my problem," so
I'll help with hers.
everyone goes, "You have a problem?"
Yeah.
Also, I mean,
I was going to ask what problem.
well, you've never
Is
seen
it
a
nail
fight.
clippers?
Because
Don't need
it's,
to worry about it.
so here's another thing as well. Seeing a walking, talking cat person isn't normal. Like, they're not a race within this world.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man!
Maybe that now dawns on everyone. in
So
this
it is
moment.
nail clippers then, right?
Yeah, I probably would have had a completely different reaction to her. Like, I was just like, oh, that's
Yeah.
you there.
Okay, just a word of warning. I may try and eat you.
Yeah.
I'll probably try to pet you, but oh well.
So yeah, I think at that point, like obviously Kitty hits out with saying, "Yeah, she's gonna hit with my problem." So and then everyone goes, "Oh yeah, there's a talking cat person."
Hello.
Meow.
Is that
Like everyone
Is-
just maybe thought I was like some weird dwarf in like a hood
Yeah.
with ears.
yeah?
Nope.
You pull
Could
down
I
your
perhaps
hood.
have thought she's like, you know, how druids can make themselves into animals?
Yeah, I mean,
Could I have thought she might have been something like that? Or is it obvious that she's definitely not that?
I mean, druids are weird and naturey and animally, so yeah. I mean, you could have wrote it off to that, you know.
Okay, that explains a few things. Okay, cool.
Fine, I'll ask a question to Sophie and the mystery woman. It's like, is your problem the fact of how one of you is going to feed the three of us?
I'm just gonna keep stepping away. No, I'm not tasty.
And then the hooded woman says, "Unfortunately, that will not happen. Not for you, Crumbar."
I'll stick my tongue out at him. Nah.
I just stand with a smirk on my face,
And
making sure that you can see the fact that I have sharp ass teeth.
will not make a comment about the phrase ass teeth. Will not make that comment. Moving swiftly on, staying in character. Yeah, so anyway, the hooded woman stands there and she says, "I will show you what it lies ahead." And then she kind of gestures for everybody to kind of like maneuver closer, essentially.
Group hug.
So, as you stand around, you all kind of stare into her eyes. Her eyes glow very, very bright, kind of like white, and then red, and then white again. And then, all of a sudden, you see what looks like, you know, you're in a kind of very kind of deep, deep canyon, and it's very, very like again hot and arid, and even in the shade, it's uncomfortably warm. And then like the ground starts to rumble. You all look around. You look at the ground, and it's like perfectly black stone, like very shiny.
Is it like an
Say that again, sorry?
Is it like an earthquake?
Yeah, so it feels very much like an earthquake, and then you just look down and to see the floor, and it is this like, again, black, almost like polished stone that you're standing on. It goes off for quite a bit, like maybe like a mile radius, this black polished stone, into the canyon walls. You see very, very high, like when you look down at the floor and you see the scope of the floor, you realise just how far away these canyon walls are, so how tall they must be. And then you just kind of like hear this horrible kind of tearing sound and screeching and then heat. And you just turn around and you just do that nice hero pose towards the camera as you all turn around and the light gets kind of more intense on you and your eyes all kind of narrow to shade yourselves from the light. And a big kind of tear appears in the space in front of you, and out kind of like pours hundreds and hundreds of demons from this kind of rip in reality, and they all flood towards you guys. And it does that wonderful thing where the camera cuts because there's so many demons in front of the camera, like bats flying towards it, and it comes up to be continued, and we'll take a break there.
Cool.
So yeah,
Thank you.
yes, we'll break until say 9 since it's our first one, and
15
we will come
minutes.
back. So I will see you guys in 15 minutes. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.